artist you are about to see was born in Duluth, Minnesota in 1941. Upon moving to Hibbing, Minnesota, when he was 6, this artist found a transistor radio in his new house. He stayed up late night after night to hear the musicians that would shape him into what he has become today. When he was young, this artist learned how to play the guitar and harmonica and formed a rock and roll band called the Golden Chords. Always anti-establishment, he was kicked out of his high school talent show just for thinking about life outside the confines of 50s small-town America. Playing music inspired by Elvis Presley, Hank Williams, and Muddy Waters, among others. During his college years, this artist was turned on to folk music, and in the summer of 1960, he moved to Denver, where he met Jesse Fuller and was turned on to the blues. It is obvious that his palette is very eclectic, and his music finds inspiration in just about every genre. His vocals may not be that of an angel, but this artist is proving to just about all that attend his shows that that is not very important. His lyrics are pointed and original, and his music is like nothing you have ever heard. Just off a recent stint in Chicago, he has traveled to the Village to seek a dying idol, Mr. Woody Guthrie, as well as to begin his music career. We are blessed to have this performer warm our hearts on this snowy wintry night. It is my honor to present to you, Mr. Bob Dylan.
That was quite a little history report there. A lot of people say I'm down here in the Village writing protest songs and trying to be Woody. I'm gonna play a song right now. This year it ain't no protest song because I don't write no protest songs. I think I'm gonna call it Blowing in the Wind, and tell me if y'all like it. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? Yes, and how many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? And how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is the blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times can a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear people die? And how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Not too much I can say about that song other than that the answer is in the wind. It ain't no book or movie or TV show or discussion group. Man, it's in the wind and it's blowing in the wind. And just like a restless piece of paper, it's got to come down sometime. But the only trouble is that when it comes down, no one takes the time to pick it up, and not too many people get to see it and know it. I still think some of the biggest criminals are those that see wrong and know it's wrong. Man, I'm only 21, and I know there's been too many wars. You people over 21, you're older and smarter, and I always say you don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows, and isn't that the truth? I'd like to take some time to answer any questions you had about me. Yeah, does anyone have any questions?
What's that on your neck? Is that your own invention?
Well, one night I was playing the harmonica, and I looked at my guitar and said, wouldn't that be really cool if I could play them at the same time? So I took a coat hanger and I made this little contraption, and I guess it worked alright, but it didn't really work too great. And at the same time, a man by the name of Les Paul, he pretty much invented the same thing. You might have heard of him. And man, it was the same thing, but it just worked a hell of a lot better. So I guess I used it. I'm out here in the village helping him get it famous, and he's helping me a bunch too. Thanks for your question. Any other ones?
Did you attend college?
College, man. Colleges, they're like old age homes, except for the fact that more people die in colleges. I mean, I did attend college. I was enrolled at the University of Minnesota. I mean, I was enrolled there, but I didn't really go to any classes or anything. I mean, there's too much for us to see in our lives to be trapped in a classroom listening to stupid professors with their stupid books and pipes and all, man. There's so much more to learn outside. When I was in college, there was a section called Dinkytown that I spent most of my time at. And there were some cool people, some really cool people doing some really cool things at Dinkytown, man. And they turned me on to this music. They were calling it folk music, man, and I learned a hell of a lot more there than I would have learned in any classroom, man. It was at that time that I found a book, man. It was called Bound for Glory. It was the autobiography by the name of a man, by Woody Guthrie, man. And it's really inspired me, and it's what made me travel here in the village. A lot of people are telling me I'm trying to be Woody Guthrie. I mean, that's not really true, man. His work comes out in me, and I play a bunch of songs of his, and I'll probably play a bunch of songs of his tonight. But man, I'm not trying to be him. He's inspired me. He's shaped me into the artist that I am today, and hopefully the artist that I'll be tomorrow. And thanks for the question. I guess I did go to college. Yeah.
Do you think yourself primarily as a singer or a poet?
That's a good question, man. I think of myself as a poet first and a musician second. I'll live like a poet, man, and I'll die like a poet, but I really think of a poet as anyone who wouldn't call himself a poet. A lot of times people are coming up to me and telling me what my songs mean. They're telling me I write protest songs. I mean, I've never written a political song, man. Songs, they can't save the world, and I've gone through all that. And a lot of times, man, people are coming up to me and asking me for answers to their problems. And hell, if I weren't Bob Dylan, I think Bob Dylan has a lot of answers myself. But man, poetry, man, it's just a great art. And where we are right now, we're in the middle of this great art movement. It's one of the greatest art movements ever. And Greenwich Village, I mean, I know looking out here, most of you are probably regular patrons of village cafes, but if you're not, man, you need to start, because there's some great stuff you're missing out on, man. Poets, they exist to share their insight in the world. They tell you what's wrong and what's right, and it's their opinion of what's wrong or what's right. You don't have to agree with it, man, but you have to respect it. And when they pass that breadbasket around in those cafes or coffee houses or what have you, man, I pray that when you put your money in there, you know what your money stands for. It's a great thing, poet. I mean, here in the village, we're free. We're free of the shackles of family and the baggage of tradition, man. We're free, and they say America's free, and I don't know if I believe all that, but I do know us here in the village. I know we're free. Thanks for your question. Yeah.
Well, how are you different from the other artists these days?
It's a good question, and first let me tell you, I'm inspired by many artists. I dig country music, I love that stuff, and rock and roll artists and blues artists, and I'm inspired by it. I even like artists from other countries. I see you got this banner here. I like the Clancy brothers over there in Ireland. They're doing a really cool thing, man, and I'm really inspired by what they do, but I'm a lot different than them. A lot of musicians these days, their music, all it's about is the music. They never focus on anything more. They lay on the surface. It's all about their funky dance beats and all that stuff, and it's never anything more than that. They write about a you in their song, but their you doesn't mean anybody. And when I write about a you, there is a you. Your you might be different than my you, but there is a you. I'm not going to tell you who you is, but my music is made way different than them, and I think I feel like playing another song. You guys want to hear one?
Oh, yeah.